Every day, those who walk the path of purpose and vision, the ones often called the chosen, find themselves navigating a world bustling with complex temptations. These aren't always the obvious vices or common pitfalls. Instead, they're subtle, artfully disguised as opportunities, comforts, and even necessities. The journey of the chosen one is as much about resisting the urge to settle as it is about striving for greatness. It often begins at dawn, when the world is quiet and decisions seem simple. The temptation to remain in comfort, to sleep just a bit longer, is ever present. For someone called to a higher standard, it isn't just about getting up early, it's about resisting the pull of mediocrity. Each morning they must make a choice, succumb to the lure of temporary comfort, or rise above it in pursuit of enduring purpose. Then there's the allure of instant gratification. To the chosen one's life presents countless shortcuts, quick rewards that promise happiness but lack substance. It might be the praise received for a hastily completed job, the fleeting satisfaction of social media approval, or indulging in habits that provide momentary pleasure rather than long term fulfillment. This is a daily struggle as the world constantly rewards surface over substance. Yet those attuned to their calling know that real success is built patiently, day after day rather than seized in moments of convenience. The world holds up comparison as another seductive force. Even the strongest are tempted to measure their progress against others, to envy the apparent success of peers, or to feel inadequate because another's achievements seem greater. For chosen ones, the danger lies in losing sight of their unique journey, of being sidetracked by lanes not meant for them. The temptation isn't simply jealousy or insecurity, it's the risk of self abandonment. The truly chosen must remind themselves daily that their path is singular, their timing precise, and no one else's journey can be the yardstick for their own. Compromise can lurk in unexpected places. There are moments when bending rules, cutting corners, or softening one's standards seem not only acceptable, but even logical. Perhaps no one would notice a minor lapse, a harmless white lie, or accepting less than what they set out to achieve. For those entrusted with a sense of mission, the temptation to compromise is not always dramatic or flagrant. It is often the gentle nudge to tweak a value here or there, convincing oneself it is only temporary. But it is in these quiet concessions that the foundation of greatness can be eroded. Isolation brings another hidden temptation, the pull to retreat within, to disconnect rather than engage. The demands on chosen ones can feel overwhelming, and so the world of solitude sometimes appears as relief. While reflection and quiet are needed, there is a subtle difference between renewing one's spirit and escaping from responsibility or growth. In the stillness, it is easy to begin doubting one's worth, purpose, or the clarity of their path. Therein lies the challenge, to distinguish between healthy solitude and unhelpful withdrawal. Perhaps most insidious is the temptation of inaction. With great vision comes great responsibility, and with responsibility often comes fear of failure, judgment, or disappointment. To chosen ones, it may seem safer to do nothing, to hold back, or to wait for the perfect moment that never quite arrives. This is not only a form of procrastination, it is the voice that whispers that their efforts may not matter, that the task is too enormous, or that someone else is better equipped. The chosen must battle the temptation to delay or defer, to remember that their calling demands not perfection, but action. There is also the temptation of being needed. For those with leadership, talent, or compassion, it can feel gratifying to be the solver of problems, the rescuer, the indispensable cornerstone for others. Yet this too can be a hidden snare. If chosen ones are not careful, they can become entangled in the drama, needs, or validation of others, losing themselves in the process. Self-worth can begin to hinge on how essential they are to everyone else's story, rather than on the quiet confidence of their own purpose. The real challenge is to serve without sacrificing their boundaries, to love without losing their sense of self. A daily presence, too, is the temptation of pride. Recognition, admiration, and influence can inflate the ego, causing chosen ones to forget the humility that set them apart in the first place. Success can subtly shift from being about purpose and contribution to being about reputation and personal glory. True greatness asks for humility, the reminder that one's gifts are not achievements, but responsibilities. In the face of applause or accomplishment, the chosen must stay anchored, remembering that their journey is about service as much as success. Cynicism also attempts to take root. Faced with setbacks, betrayals, or the world's harsh realities, the temptation to harden one's heart, to doubt the goodness or possibility of change, is fierce. It might seem easier for the chosen to become detached or indifferent, to shield themselves from disappointment by expecting the worst. The fight is not just against external obstacles, but against the gradual slowing of hope and optimism. Maintaining a spirit of belief, especially when outcomes are uncertain, is a powerful act of resistance. Distraction is yet another invisible adversary. In an age saturated with noise and information, it's easy to be pulled from focus. Notifications, endless content, and constant activity threaten to scatter attention and dilute efforts. For the chosen, the real battle is not just prioritizing tasks, but protecting the quiet clarity that fuels their purpose. Intentional silence, undistracted thought, and mindful effort become sacred as they guard against the subtle erosion of meaning. Chasing validation is a temptation uniquely tailored to those with extraordinary callings. The desire to be understood, appreciated, or applauded can shift the focus outward, seeking external endorsement rather than following internal conviction. Over time, the risk is that chosen ones begin to dilute their message, soften their uniqueness, or change their course to fit what is popular or palatable. The courage to disappoint others in order to remain true to one's calling is one of the hardest temptations to resist. Yet it is essential for authenticity. Busyness, too, masquerades as progress. The temptation to fill every moment, to be perpetually productive, can lead chosen ones to mistake motion for meaning. Without regular pauses for rest, reflection, and recalibration, their pace can become unsustainable and their passions burn out. In quiet moments, wisdom takes root. In stillness, creativity is born. To resist the cult of constant hustle, to value deep work over endless activity is a temptation the chosen face every day. Ultimately, perhaps the greatest temptation of all is the belief that being chosen is enough, that destiny alone will carry them forward. The world is filled with those who were gifted vision or talent but never fully answered the call. The daily choice is to remember that being chosen is only the beginning. It is not a guarantee, it is an invitation to persistent effort, to growth, to sacrifice, and above all, to integrity. Hidden temptations abound. They are woven into the fabric of life, often gentle, almost invisible, yet potent enough to reroute even the most purposeful soul. For the chosen ones, overcoming these temptations isn't about perfection or constant vigilance. It's about awareness, resilience, and recommitment. Each day brings a fresh invitation to rise above comfort, to ignore the noise, and to journey on in strength and humility. In facing these temptations, chosen ones don't simply protect their destiny, they illuminate the path for all who follow. By rejecting the easy way and embracing the way of substance, they become living proof that greatness is shaped not in grand moments, but in the quiet victory of daily choices. And it is in these choices, often unseen and uncelebrated, that the legacy of the chosen is truly forged. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with our latest videos.